Well, there we have it. Trump versus Harris. And what an evening. It was a lively debate from the start. A little bit of nerves, I think, from Kamala Harris. Her first moment really on the national stage in this campaign, having been hoisted in replacement for Joe Biden. The hands were up. There was a bit of a sort of nervousness to her voice, but she began to get in her stride. She began to show America who she is. Donald Trump, on the other hand, began very muted. He was sort of a Donald Trump we weren't expecting to see and have ever really seen, which was biting his tongue.
First of all, I have no sales tax. That's an incorrect statement. She knows that.
Holding his sort of fire and actually just sort of letting the attacks, and very personal attacks from Kamala Harris at times, sort of wash over him. It was only then once that she began sort of prodding and poking at the size of his rallies, a particular issue that is dear to his heart, and then actually went really on a personal attack about his personal wealth, his inherited wealth from his father and his business career, that the old Don that we recognise and entertains us began to come out. He was angry. He got more orange. He got more aggressive. There was attacks. All the key lines. Comrade Kamala. He started to talk about illegal migrants eating cats and dogs. A disputed story in some senses, but one he has now put firmly on the national agenda.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
It was a lot of heat, not much light. There was both camps really talking to their bases. They were sort of addressing their fans. This election is going to be decided on who can get their base out to a larger degree.
But her vice presidential pick says abortion in the 9th month is absolutely fine. He also says execution after birth. It's execution, no longer abortion, because the baby is born, is okay. And that's not okay with me.
Really strong moments from Harris on abortion, very uncomfortable for Trump on that. Quite strong moments for her on healthcare. He didn't like. She was a lot weaker on the economy. Very tricky for someone who's been in power for 4 years as vice president to be able to really defend the record. She dodged questions on inflation. She dodged questions on the cost of living. And then Trump really went on the attack. He tried to link everything back to immigration. That is what he wants to talk about. He wants to talk about immigration and fracking. Key swing states that he needs to win. Fracking is a big issue. Kamala Harris's record on that is dubious at best. She's saying the right things now, but has she always believed them for the last 15 years? There wasn't a real knockout blow on either side, but the bar was lower for Harris. She needed to prove that she could do the no notes, the no scripts, the no soundbite moments without a sort of prompt or without a soft soap interviewer to help her. She's been very restricted and kept on a very tight leash during this campaign, and frankly, she cleared that low bar. The money markets were moving tonight. Trump started out as favourite according to Betfair Exchange, and Kamala Harris ended up just nudging it, still too close to call, but really gaining on Donald Trump in the betting markets tonight, which can often be a much more accurate predictor than polls, because we never quite know which polls are paid for by whom and who they're really looking at. So the money markets are moving. Kamala Harris will be pleased with that result. It took Donald Trump a little while to sort of hit his talking points, but he did get there in the end. He had a very strong closing statement where he hit all of his key points on immigration and Harris and Biden and the economy and national security and defence. And so I think they'll be pleased he finally got there in the end. But boy, it was a long old 90 minutes. It took him some time. So whether or not it's going to make the huge amount of difference, this race is still too close to call. But one piece of news, just as the debate finishes, Taylor Swift has endorsed Kamala Harris. We'll see what that does, but it's the one they were all waiting for.